Hello everyone, welcome back, 6th and 7th grade. So hope you're enjoying your time off. I really, truly miss each and every one of your faces. But that does not mean we can stop learning even though we are off. So what I wanted to do for the next couple weeks or until we get back to school is just go over some of the information and content that is in your work packet for social studies. So you should have done your 8 features of civilization worksheet, and I just want to give you a brief overview on the 8 features of civilization, and then you have your worksheet, which I do have a video on of me going over that for your reference. So let's just kind of dive deep into the 8 features of civilizations. So we all know the 8 features. Number 1, cities. 2, organized government. 3, religion. 4, job specialization. 5, social classes. 6, public works. 7, arts and architecture. And lastly, number 8, system of writing. So on the first one is cities. So we all know that cities emerge near farming systems or centers because the more water you have, the more plants you get, and the more plants you get, the more food you get, and then obviously the more food you get, the more populations grew. So food surpluses led to population growth, which turned into cities, and then cities into civilizations. So we're talking a huge region of people in this case. So they started as centers, a center of religion, government, and culture. This is the same thing with us. You know, Detroit has some type of a religion or various religious backgrounds, and then our government, and then of course our culture in each and every city. Next is organized government. So there are 2 roles that government plays within a civilization, not just in an ancient civilization, but even today as well. Number 1 is managing a society's resources so that people get those things they need to survive, like food, water, shelter, the basic needs of life. And then lastly, number 2, to train an army to protect the civilization. So that's certainly true with our organized government. In the United States, we have our military, including Army, Navy, Marines, the Coast Guard, Air Force, so on and so forth to keep our nation safe. 3 is an established religion. So religion is a set of shared spiritual beliefs. So in our case, we don't have a specific religion that our whole nation identifies with. We have various religions such as Judaism, Christianity, so on and so forth. All religions that make up our nation. So religion is usually linked to government, and those that rule the civilization believe that their rights to rule came from the gods. So we know in our previous civilizations that we learned, we know this is heavily apparent in Egypt, where most of how pharaohs were ruled by the gods that they worshipped in Egypt. All right, number 4 is job specialization. So job specialization is where workers do specific jobs. Not everyone needs to farm. So most people in early civilizations were farmers, but now since we have much more population growth, now we can add more jobs to a civilization that included skilled craft workers, and then we have traders and merchants. So we now have people that can actually make these type of goods, and then merchants to actually sell the goods, or actually traders to move their goods from place to place. We also know this to be commerce. Also in this aspect, not everyone's farming. So we know that most of the people, most early humans were farmers, as I taught you earlier, but now they can branch out and do other things more in a more relatable sense. So, I'm your social studies teacher, and then we know you have your ELA teacher, math teacher, science, gym. Those are all job specialization. I cannot teach you math. You don't want me to teach you math because that's not my specialized skill set. I'm more suited to teach you social studies, right? So the next one is social classes. Social classes are people of different ranks. So we learn this in Egypt. We learn this essentially in Hinduism, where there is this concept of social classes, or we know that to be a caste system. We know the untouchables, things of that nature, to separate people from certain groups, and also back to job specialization, right? Public works. So public works are large scale projects that help the whole society. So that includes roads, water systems, city walls, granaries where food was stored after harvesting. So roads was huge in Rome, which we are now in right now, where the road systems were built, and we know the building of the road system helped spread Christianity throughout certain regions. Water systems were very important, right? In order to get water to plants and so people can bathe and take showers, so that way people smell good, so they weren't stinky. And then also city walls were used to help protect themselves from enemies, and also to kind of separate their territory from other regions or civilizations that might want to invade them. All right, so the next one is arts and architecture. So essentially, they are buildings or objects of beauty. So your house could be architecture. Our school is considered an architecture. A museum, a library. These are all forms of architecture. Now, sometimes it could separate what is in that architecture. So a museum may have artwork. So the DIA, that's considered an art in an architecture, right? We know this is apparent in decorated, magnificent temples like those who practice Hinduism, a mosque for Islam, also a temple or a tabernacle for Christianity, a synagogue for Judaism, are all forms of temples or places of worship. So tombs are apparent, obviously, we know this to be in Egypt. So if you knew this to be Egypt, you are correct. And of course, palaces. So palaces are just really big, elaborate places or mansions, especially in like England. So Queen Elizabeth, she has a palace. Buckingham Palace is the place where she lives and also does her work. The last feature is writing. Writing is a system to record information, laws, prayers, and history. So writing is used to record our laws, record prayers in religion, recording information that we need in history. So, your tweet or your post on Instagram is also considered writing because you are recording information. Even though it might not fall into these others, it is information nonetheless. So my question is, based on what you know right now, what feature do you think was most important to a successful civilization and why? So I highly recommend that you write your answer on your 8 features of civilization worksheet, and then just have that posted and recorded as we go through the 8 features of civilization. Oh, and also for your assignment, don't forget to complete and watch the 8 features of civilization review worksheet video for practice. And I see you later. Bye.